If we want to truly maximize AI throughout our work as humans, we have to begin prioritizing two core things in the context of how we're working and how we're organizing the work that we're doing. So the first big thing is separation of organizations, tasks, projects, etc. Now we can look at this on the macro level first. If you are employed at a company and you're also working on your own side projects, you're also trying to build a startup, you're doing all of these different things, but you're completing them on the same machine, that is going to be very problematic. And so moving into this thought experiment, we can say, okay, well, one option is to first of all solve on the same machine a way to locally process and categorize activities based on a predefined definition of each different company, project, and task under each of those different companies. It would start macro level with the company, so the company you're employed at, your startup, and then another side hustle. And on machine, have to categorize task by task what task and activity and file, etc., belongs to each of those things. I think that is a very inefficient approach because, first of all, you have to solve that categorization. That is a heavy task. And first of all, it's so nuanced because with machine learning and with an AI model, it's going to categorize activities incorrectly constantly, and it's going to require humans to go in and fix it. And so eventually it could get to the point where it can categorize it well enough, but I think that is going to be way more expensive in the long run than just simply completing tasks under different organizations on different machines. It's cheap. Hardware is cheap. It is cheap in the grand scheme of things. You spend $1,000 on a brand new Mac Mini or Windows, whatever you want to use, and that's like for something really, really nice. Max, you can have three of them. I mean, you realistically, if you're working on more than like 3 larger macro categories of work, then you probably can either afford more machines to be able to have that separation, or you're just doing too much. So for myself, for instance, I have my employer, I have that machine, I have myself, my individual machine, and those two machines. And on my individual machine, that's where I'm working on side projects, education, and the startup. And then on my company machine, I'm working on only company related work. That way, no matter what, my work cannot be nuanced. Any local agent that is able to see my work, there's no question as to where that work is being categorized because it's just simply on a completely different machine, different environment. Okay, so I believe that's the solution to that first major problem of work separation. Separate your work by machine. And if you can't afford a machine, there's ways to set up environments and different desktops on one actual machine, but that is a whole nother thing that's just too complex on an organizational level. And if you're working with a company and then working on your startup, where it's easier, just have different machines. It's just better. That's the number one thing that I think all workers are going to have to start doing. Anyone that is innovating, you're going to have to start working on separate machines for all of your separate companies and projects. That way, you're setting yourself up and you're setting your AI agents up to be able to have the cleanest, most tunnel vision data possible. Now, number 2, we as workers need to prioritize file organization and proper file naming, project naming, and just overall disclosure of what every piece of data is that lives on our machines. If I go through my files right now, I'm going to see a bunch of 0 and 1 and random numbered names for screenshots and random files with names that have nothing to do with what the file actually is. That makes it virtually impossible for AI to efficiently go through and use my data to help me. So we need to start properly organizing and naming files. And now the problem is that once you get off track from this, it just becomes, in our minds at least, unsavable, because you have now this entire machine here with unorganized files. So this machine right here has very unorganized files. And so what I should do to prepare myself and my business for the future is go in and organize everything to have proper file structure, name structure, dating, categorization under the one organization that this computer is used for. That way, when AI solutions surface that can use my computer's data, it will actually be able to use my computer's data. Because if I integrate some sort of desktop agent onto this computer right now, it's going to be completely useless. It's only going to be useful for the now to future items that I start renaming. These are by far the two highest leverage things that you can streamline if you plan on integrating AI into your business. Non-negotiable. Definitely jump on this. It's going to be very, very important as new tools roll out. And if we can standardize this, separating work, multi-machine, and organizing work on each of these machines, the ecosystem of tools that this enables is endless. Because if we have a standardized way of organizing human work data on our computers, AI is going to be able to integrate with our machines so easily. Hopefully this helped you. Have a wonderful day. Peace.